What is up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the effortlessly entertaining Dr. Disaster, and Ubisoft keeps proving to us that yes, they are in fact the worst company in the gaming industry. There is a reason that they are utterly despised among gamers everywhere. Ubisoft deserves it.
How did this happen? We're smarter than this.
When the first trailer for Splinter Cell Deathwatch came out, the new animated show on Netflix that was supposed to feature an older Sam Fisher coming out of retirement, I had a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach because it became quite clear that this character here, McKenna, was going to be the new main character that they groomed to be in the starring role of the series because, according to the entertainment industry, literally every white male main character in every franchise ever has to have his role taken away and given to someone else. And then, when Ubisoft announced that this Netflix show was canon to their Splinter Cell game series, that sick feeling in my gut grew even worse.
Oh, that's going to chafe my willy.
Well, the show was just released, and it looks like everything that you would expect from a Netflix adaptation like this, where they replace a beloved old character. Everything that you would expect is happening. Over on Rotten Tomatoes, the preliminary critic scores for Splinter Cell Deathwatch are predictably high. They gave it an 82% because it's a show that was made for them. But the audience score is already rotten at a putrid 55%.
What the hell am I looking at?
They took Sam Fisher in this show and gave him a man bun, and then they made him take a back seat to this new McKenna character who, in a recent interview given by the creator of the show, she was described as the blueprint for a Mary Sue. In the Splinter Cell games, you always had to be sneaky and not rush into conflicts all willy-nilly, but McKenna's whole shtick is rushing into fights like an angry dog or something, and it works out for her because, as described in this interview, she is just so good at what she does. The whole thing is simply disgusting though, and I will be glad to see this turd bomb.
I'm getting what I deserve. I'm reaping what I sow.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've had a lot of people tell me that they have been unwillingly unsubscribed to the channel, so make sure you check on that, and also, give me a follow over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster1, and if you feel like supporting the channel and helping keep the lights on, consider becoming a member for as little as $5 per month. But alrighty then, let's take a look at this description of this new character McKenna in this Splinter Cell show, and then we will do a deep dive into what the actual viewers themselves are saying about this show on Rotten Tomatoes. Anyhow, this interview that I'm talking about came from Derek Kolstad, the creator of this show, and the interview was given to Screen Rant, and I will link this article here in this video's description. We're going to go down in this article to here where the header says, Deathwatch's new characters are kickstarting a new Splinter Cell era. And then, at the bottom there, Screen Rant asks the question, now, fans know Grim is Sam's trusted tech officer from the games, but McKenna and Thunder are brand new additions to the team. What was important about creating these original characters for Deathwatch to help expand Sam's world now? And then, the creator of the show talks for a minute about the character Thunder, and then this is what he had to say about McKenna. It says here, McKenna was a joke on me, by the way. If you try playing the game by going in and shooting everyone, you lose, right? But McKenna is so good. In other words, folks, McKenna is Rey from Star Wars all over again. She's just so good, just the bestest ever, that she doesn't need to worry about the whole stealth thing. I mean, who needs stealth in a Splinter Cell game, am I right? Anyhow, this guy continued on saying, and what I do like about it, I love those movies where the guy shoots a machine gun and hits no one, and you have that one old guy in the back go pop, pop, and it was really that, because the other thing we would talk about a great deal, and we watched that movie, Wyatt Earp, where he wasn't a quick draw. It was very interesting, very long, but it's a cool one to watch, and it was just going like, look, he's Doc Holliday, he's Wyatt Earp, the two of them together. Oh yeah, they are very different, but come to the end of it, it isn't necessarily a yin and yang, but I got your back. The classic, I'll be your wingman. And I'm a big fan of father-daughter, father-son motifs, and I think we had that there as well, but he never talks down to her, he never looks at her as anything more than equal, and I think that surprises her. And you know what? It should surprise McKenna, because that isn't how the world works. When you're just starting out at a job, you don't deserve to be looked at as an equal to someone who has been doing it for decades, let alone a legend like Sam Fisher. Not that he needs to be a dick to McKenna or anything like that, but viewing her as an equal in this situation just seems an awful lot like pandering to the feminist crowd who buy into this narrative that this is how the world needs to be. You have to give respect to the whammon no matter what. This sounds like classic Mary Sue writing, where the character has the unearned respect of everyone around her, and she's just amazingly good at what she does. To hell with teaching people that they need to work for anything to be good at something. No, everything is just given to them. But considering that this show has been confirmed to be a part of the video game franchise's canon, I can just see how all of this is going to go down in the future. But anyhow, let's dig in deeper into this Rotten Tomato score here so we can see how the show is being received. This guy here wrote on Rotten Tomatoes, Girl Boss TV series and Sam Fisher is side character, no thanks, 10 minutes into the first episode, done. And then this guy here said, another franchise ruined by changing the source material to support a girl boss narrative. Sam Fisher is a side character to the women, and instead of stealth action, we get a huge dose of boring feminism. Yeah, that was predictable as hell though, wasn't it? All you had to do was look at a movie poster for a split second or take a quick peek at their trailer and you just knew that this is exactly what the fusion between Netflix and Ubisoft was going to look like. But anyhow, then this person here wrote, far from the worst Netflix animation adaptation of a video game, but I had a lot higher hopes for an action spy series like this. I wish they would have done a different art style as well. At least that guy wasn't too scathing, but he certainly doesn't seem to be a big fan either. But anyhow, then this person here wrote, feels like it was written 7 years ago and commits all of the narrative crimes you'd expect. And then this guy says, as a die-hard fan of Tom Clancy's brand and as well as a huge fan of the Splinter Cell games and novels, this show is a disgrace. I thought the era of crude slaughter of an IP to drive a mediocre story with checkbox characters was over. This proves it's not. This isn't canonical Sam Fisher, nor Grimm's daughter, girl bosses galore, changes to lore, and a Sam Fisher who is only allowed to kick ass off screen. This show doesn't know the difference between Splinter Cell and any other spy story. Don't get me going on all the agenda checkboxes either. I binged the whole thing and I am severely disappointed. But then we have this review here, which is my favorite. It says, Netflix and Ubisoft had an opportunity to take a unique franchise and do something special with it. They promptly squandered it, which is typical for both companies. Splinter Cell agents are supposed to value true stealth above everything, which would feel hyper-realistic. avoiding direct confrontations and interactions wherever possible in an effort to leave no trace behind in service to the mission, they again went down the run-and-gun route like a Jason Bourne/James Bond clone. Not to mention that Sam is as old as a fossil at this point, and they have a woman fighting several men significantly larger than her at the same time, like some derivative Black Widow. Completely unbelievable, which makes it easy to lose interest. Her character would have been way cooler and more compelling if they leveraged feminine strengths like flexibility and acrobatics to avoid open fist fights while being hyper dangerous with ranged gadgets and weapons only when absolutely forced to use them. Also, dreads and a man bun/mountain man beard are extremely out of place in this setting, would just get in the way when in the field. It's like if you asked your neighborhood hipsters to conduct subterfuge, but that's the problem. This show was made by and for the hipster crowd, and they don't have the ability to imagine anything outside of their own worldview. But the problem is that Splinter Cell as a franchise has a very different audience, and for all of us, this show has just about killed the IP. But I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your contempt for Ubisoft and Netflix into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.